We just won a $573 pot with 6-5 suited. Big deal. We probably just called a raise and flopped a straight, right? Nope. I 3-bet it pre-flop. 12. 35?
Wait.
Against the toughest player at the table. Not because I'm playing crazy, quite the opposite actually. And this wasn't a soul read, it wasn't a field play. I'm an engineer. I was simply following a checklist, one that I've been building for over 2 decades. Finding the weak point in a system isn't just a poker thing for me, that's been my career for 25 years as a quality assurance engineer. Companies pay me to break things everyone else assumes works. And that's exactly what I did with poker. 1 million hands online testing it, 2 decades and tens of thousands of hands in live rooms proving it. And I boiled all of it down into a single system. Because here's what most small stakes players never figure out. Your table image can win you a lot more pots than your actual cards. That's the difference between the players who need to run hot to have a winning night and the players who can book a win whether they're getting good cards or not. So here's what actually went into that decision at the table. Number 1, which of the 6 player types he was for my character mapping system, and I had him pegged within the first 2 orbits at the table. Number 2, what type of player he thought I was based on everything he'd seen me do that session. Number 3, my position on him. Number 4, my cards. 6-5 suited against this player type in this position, given our history, is absolutely within my core 34 3-betting range. So all those factors gave me the green light to pull the trigger with a hand like 5-6 suited and fire that 3-bet. Now, when the conditions are right and you 3-bet, are you always dragging a nice $500 pot? No, of course not. So here's a clip from a different night, different poker room, against a different opponent. He opens up to $10.
Where's the 10?
And I 3-bet to $30 with King 9 suited.
Where's 30?
And he quickly folds. I win $10. Yippee. Think that little pot doesn't mean much? Well, that was advertising for a hand I haven't played yet. Because when I pick up a real hand an hour from now, everyone at the table is going to remember all the 3-betting I've been doing, and somebody's going to take a stand at exactly the wrong time, and I'm going to end up dragging a monster pot, which is exactly what ended up happening. Later in that same session, a player I'd been battling with all night had finally had enough of my shenanigans, and we got it all in pre-flop. My kings to his jacks. A $1,300 pot all in pre-flop. Nobody in small stakes games gets it in over 200 big blinds deep with jacks pre-flop, but he did. All because of everything he had seen me do for the previous 3 hours. Now, it's not just me. There's over 10,000 players in 28 countries running this exact system in their local games right now. The results and chip stack photos are on our homepage, so have a look for yourself before you decide anything. So how does this actually play out at the table? Well, all kinds of ways. In this situation, sometimes I 3-bet, miss, and have to give it up. Sometimes I get caught bluffing. Sometimes I win on the flop with a single C-bet. And sometimes I get to showdown with a hand like 5-6 suited, end up winning a big pot, and the whole table sees exactly what I 3-bet with pre-flop. Now they're really confused and convinced I've got to be a maniac, which is exactly what I want. Now here's the part that makes this so hard to play against. I don't have to keep it up. In fact, that's the whole point. I'm not a naturally aggressive player. I never have been, but I know exactly when to be because I'm not guessing. I'm just following a system. So now I switch gears and I tighten up for a while and only play value hands for a while. Because the whole table still thinks I'm wild, I get paid on every real hand I make. When I flop a set, some real money's going into the pot. Then once I show down some value hands, I switch gears up and ramp up the aggression again, rinse and repeat. Now nobody can put me on a hand and I become really difficult to play against. So what's the best way to get started with this strategy? Get started with our $10 controlled chaos playbook.